Individuals go missing in the Appalachian woods each and every year. But what did to my uncle was not an accident. He was more familiar with these woods than anyone else. He hunted here all his life. One evening in November, he went out to make sure his traps were still set before a storm rolled in. He took his old hound, Jasper, and said he'd return by midnight. But midnight passed. By morning, search parties were sweeping the ridge. We came upon Jasper first, standing in the trail, shaking with cold, teeth chattering, eyes fixed on something far into the trees. He wouldn't go forward, wouldn't wag his tail. And then we discovered my uncle's rifle against a tree in an unbroken circle of flattened snow. No prints heading off into the distance. No blood, just nothing at all. And it was then we realized something else was out there that night. I've heard rumors all my life about what exists in the Appalachian Mountains. Old people warn you, campfire tales tell you, even police reports suggest it. Most refer to it as superstition. I didn't believe it either, at least not until the evening my uncle vanished. I was raised in a little Appalachian town where the mountains are not scenery. They're inside you. They're in the air, in the stories, in the gate you use walking home at night. The fog hugs the valleys like it is. Got a secret. The trees are old, knotted, straining toward you. Even in town they watch. My uncle wasn't just a casual hiker. He'd hunted every ridge, every hollow, every deer path. He could read tracks like a book. He knew what every sound meant, when to relax and when to get out. The Appalachians have regulations. You do not whistle at night. You do not respond to voices that are saying your name if you cannot see the individual, and you do not follow tree lights. My uncle was familiar with those regulations. That is why what occurred does not make sense. It was late November. The first snow was coming. Around dusk, he grabbed his rifle and Jasper. He told my dad he'd be back before midnight. This was nothing unusual. When midnight passed, my dad stayed calm at first. Storms can slow a man down, but by 3 a.m, he shook me awake and said, "Something's wrong. We're going up the ridge. These are not nice hills to walk through at night. The black is thick here, the cold cuts right through you, and the quiet is crushing, like the woods are waiting." That evening, we weren't simply strolling into the woods. We were walking into something whole different. We went up the old logging road. Jasper did not go with us. We expected him to come running when he heard us. Halfway up, I knew something was amiss. The woods are never really quiet. Not in these woods. But this night, no wind, no owls, no coyotes. Silence, we shouted my uncle's name, and the sound of it seemed to be swallowed by the trees. The fog deepened. Then we saw a movement in the distance. I thought it was him. But it was Jasper, standing stiff, head down looking into the trees. His teeth were chattering. He was shaking all over, not with cold. This was fear. He wouldn't budge, wouldn't glance our way. A few feet beyond him was the rifle, against a tree. Surrounding it, the snow was flattened into a perfect ring, 8 feet in diameter, as if something had been walking. No footprints going away. No blood, nothing. My father grabbed the rifle. His hands trembled. He uttered, "We have to leave now." We departed from Jasper. Hours afterward, he trailed back home, but he was different forever. Wouldn't step into the woods again. The following days saw the ridge swarming with searchers, locals, police, even helicopters. Nothing, no tracks, no indication of where he'd gone. Some of the searchers returned white and ill, describing footsteps in the dark, voices whispering their names, and lanterns moving through the fog that vanished when they approached. The 4th day, they canceled, said he had frozen to death. My dad didn't think so. Neither did I. I returned 2 weeks later by myself. The air was biting, my breathing fogging in front of me. Halfway up the ridge, the silence dropped again. That metallic smell came at me. Blood. Rust. I made it to the same place. The ring was still there. I knelt down, touched the icy earth. Then I heard it behind me. My uncle's voice, calling my name. I turned around, nothing. And then I heard it once again, deeper in the forest. Help me. My every instinct was telling me to not move, but my legs wanted to go after it. The voice continued calling out, but it was changing less and less human, sounding more and more distorted, like it was attempting to imitate him but couldn't. Then I saw them, two white figures in the dark. Close to the floor, like light, dreaming eyes, they lifted up too high to be a man. I ran, didn't stop until I burst through the tree line. I didn't say anything to my dad, just what I had seen. He nodded, as if he already knew. That evening, he hammered a cross above the front door. I lay there awake, not much. 2 nights later, in the middle of a snowstorm, Jasper leapt up growling at the door. Then I heard it, my uncle's voice, right there on the porch, slow knocking, 3 loud thuds. My dad stood still. The voice shouted again, slower this time, wrong, warping my name. Help me. My dad breathed quietly. It is not him. A scent crept in, metallic. Then footsteps went around the house. At every window it lingered, drumming on the glass. I glanced. No face, only 2 white forms, higher than they should have been, casting firelight reflections. The knocking ceased. The walking came closer to the trees. Then, indistinctly, next time, follow. No prints in the morning, no indication anything had ever existed. But we knew that it did, and I believe it is the same entity that killed my uncle. We never did find him. They say around here about mimics, things that borrow the voice of the person you love to get you to go astray. I've been thinking about why it made me go. Was it curious, hungry, or just mean? I'll never return to that ridge because the mountains don't tell. And when they want something, they take it. If you ever hear someone yell out your name from the tree line, don't respond. No matter how much you care for that individual, because I did. And I believe it is still observing me. There is more than one tale like this from the Appalachians. There are valleys no one will venture into, pathways that never show up on a map, names spoken only in secret. I've heard similar stories from other hunters, hikers, even rescue squads who witness things beyond explanation. If you care to know what else there is, just let me know. But keep in mind, some things in these mountains want you to listen. And once you've listened, you can't help but hear.